Mayad nga agahon. Coming to you live from Numancia, Aklan. We're back home. We're back home in Numancia, Aklan. In Western Visayas. In Western Visayas in the Philippines. I actually broke out my Copico Blanca this morning. My celebratory coffee this morning. Our coffee with Gino cup. Broke out my cup here. Our coffee with Gino cup, my Copico Blanca. I just want to celebrate this morning because my Dodgers won 18 innings. Unbelievable game. Probably the greatest game I've ever seen in my entire life. That was so awesome, man. Shohei Ohtani, 4 hits, 5 walks. I mean, like 4 out of 4, 2 home runs, 2 doubles. I think he's like the first person since 1906 that had 4 hits, like doubles and home runs. So it's just awesome game. I mean, even we were down to our last pitcher in the bullpen, and they were actually going to try to bring Yamamoto back after a 1 day's rest. So I'm glad that Yamamoto didn't have to pitch, because that might ruin his chances of pitching the rest of the series. But man, it was just an awesome game. Hey, Fortune, good morning, Fortune. Good morning to the Panay Posse. Good morning. I'm starting early, of course. I'm starting early on this live stream because the game comes on again at 8 a.m. here. So less than 24 hours when the game ended. There's another game. I think there's a game tomorrow too. So it's like 3 days back to back. It's not gonna be no break. I kind of like that there's no break in the World Series. I'll open my laptop here, make sure I get everything going here. And Fortune actually shared a Facebook page with me, like a posting. And there's actually hopefully not, upcoming super typhoon, big typhoon headed our way here, coming from the Pacific Ocean. So hopefully that does not hit us here in the Philippines. Hopefully it weakens. Right there, I have a picture of it that Fortune sent me. Fortune sent me that picture yesterday. I mean, that is a big typhoon. That's gonna, the size of the Philippines, that's the Philippines right there. That's the size of the typhoon. That's gonna affect pretty much the entire country here if that rolls into the Philippines. Hopefully, like I said, hopefully that typhoon weakens. We don't need like a big typhoon like that hitting us here in the Philippines. And we're already almost to November here. They'll be like, man. But today, I'm going to read the weather report today here in the Philippines. Nothing really. There's no tropical depression, tropical storm, nothing like that. Just says here, for the most part of the Philippines here, partly cloudy to cloudy skies with isolated rain showers and thunderstorms. Same thing here. Yesterday on the way home, we were hitting, like, it was weird because when we left the resort yesterday, it was like sunny. It was like hot sunny because we were able to do the kayaking. We went kayaking. I actually, just for 30 minutes in the sun. I put sunscreen, of course. I had my hat, but I got darkened up a little bit just in that 30 minutes because we're out in the water, really strong sun. But when we left, when we checked out at noon, it was still sunny, hot, sunny. Not even 10-15 minutes down the road, it was a downpour. So it was just a crazy weather yesterday. But now it looks like we might actually clear up here. I do see some clouds, but the sun is trying to come up here this morning. But what an awesome game yesterday. I could not believe, Freddie Freeman, man, he came through in the clutch again, man. He's just like, I'm so happy that Atlanta traded Freddie Freeman to us, and Cheese is getting interest. Oh, all right, man. To me, man, like I said, out of all the sports, Fortune, for me, baseball is the purest. There's still stuff that happens, a lot of times the umpire behind the plate about the call, strike zone and all that. But for me, it's still the purest, You can't hide your flaws in baseball, and especially in a playoff series. Managers, they are put to the test. Pitchers are put to the test. Every single pitch matters. If you're a Dodger fan, Blue Jays fan, man, the 18 innings, man, that was like brutal. That was brutal. That was like pins and needles the whole way. Just awesome that we were able to pull that win. I mean, I can't imagine if we had lost that game. That would have been, man, I would have been down. I try not to get, too invested, but it's hard not to. But I'm not a fanatic. It's like I still, if the Blue Jays beat us, the Blue Jays beat us fair and square. And so far, what I'm seeing is they are evenly matched. I mean, when you go 18 innings and you just win by 1 run, man, that the two teams are evenly matched. It's just like sometimes luck has to play a part in it. Sometimes the right dynamics just plays out. Which are like heroic for Freddie Freeman yesterday. I told her to reactivate her FB account and we'll get her a Facebook live stream. All right, yeah. I watched the Facebook live streams before on Facebook, but we subscribed, Dazzle and I. It's called the Spot, SPOT TV, Spot TV here in the Philippines, and we're paying, I think, 300 pesos for that sports package, and baseball is one of it. So it's not bad. It's like we'll probably end the cancellation once the World Series is over. Otani pitching. Yes, Otani's pitching today, man. I can't. It's even hard to believe, man. He played 6.5 hours of baseball yesterday, running around in the field. He had a couple of doubles. So now he's gonna pitch. Less than 24 hours. That's just incredible, unbelievable. So hopefully he can at least give us like maybe 5-6 innings, because our bullpen is depleted. Everybody played yesterday, so man, yeah. But the same thing with the Blue Jays. Their bullpen is depleted too. Definitely some strategy gonna go and play today. Managers are gonna have to earn their money today. Hi Gino, hi Kevin Shores. Good morning, my friend. Thank you so much for joining the live stream. Kamusta, Gino? Mabuti ako, kaibigan. Mabuti ako. Salamat, kaibigan. Jonas Brothers. All right. I have not heard the Jonas Brothers in a long time. I remember they were popular, dude. I remember that Jonas Brothers were pop singers that were popular there. MLB still has the 2-3-2. Yes. Especially for this series, Fortune, because they're in Canada. That's another country. So for them to do like 2-2, 1-1-1, that'll be too much traveling. So what they do is like 2 in Toronto, they play 3 at Dodger Stadium, 3 days in a row too. And then if it goes to 6 or 7, they'll go back to Toronto. Next week around November 5th, the super typhoon, right? The big storm. So hopefully, like I said, hopefully it goes north, it goes a north trajectory or something. But I looked at it. I'll do more research about it, man. That's a big typhoon there. That's like if it hits the Philippines, it's gonna hit the entire Philippines. It's such a large area that the typhoon will hit. Super typhoon too, they're predicting. Good evening for the Netherlands. Hey, Sasa, thank you. Netherlands, wow, that's a long way away from here, man. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining the live stream this morning. Bill Meyer, hey, Bill, good morning. Hey, good morning, Bill. Good morning, Bill. Kevin Shores, did you like the Dodger games? Did you check out the Arnold brothers? No, I haven't. I haven't gotten a chance to check the DR. I was so focused on the game, man. You know, the game was so intense. You know, it's like even Kershaw came out there, man. I just couldn't believe I saw Kershaw. I said, "Oh no!" Kershaw's, he's a Hall of Famer, multi Cy Young, and all that. But man, Kershaw's have had some troubles in the World Series and in the playoffs. So when he came up there with the bases loaded, I said, "Oh no!" It's like I do not want Kershaw to give up a hit because that will really, the fans will really get on his case. They already think he's not clutch and all that. So I was like, man, I was really pulling for Kershaw because I'm a Dodger fan. I know what the Dodger players, they're putting a lot of pressure, and it's a lot of pressure to be a Dodger fan. The LA fans are brutal, man. When you play baseball, any sports, when you play any sports in Los Angeles or New York, man, the fans there are brutal. You're a hero one day and you're like the scapegoat the next, man. It's like they're just brutal fans. But I'm just so happy for Kershaw. Even if he doesn't pitch the rest of the World Series, man, he got a nice appearance there and a clutch. Man, bases loaded, and I was like, man, if he had given up a hit there, that would have been the win for Toronto already. You stayed 2 nights there? Yes, we stayed 2 nights, 3 days, 2 nights at the. That's all I can afford, Fortune. That place, even at $4,480 a night, man. That's we normally don't spend that kind of money on our vacations, but I wanted to treat the Dazzle in Leanna because it's a really nice place. I saw it on our good friends, Kalkin and Risa had stayed there, and they told us they really enjoyed their stay. And I knew Dazzle and Leanna would enjoy it, so. Yes, yeah, exactly, man. From the 9th inning on, the next part of it, Fortune, like the 18 innings, that's high pressure because once you get into the bullpen, 1 run makes that's all you need. That's all you need is 1 run because the players are already gassed after playing 9 innings. It's like that's why you could tell. They both teams were worn down by the time we hit the 18th inning. I'm just glad Freddie came through in the clutch, man. Freddie came through in the clutch. Good morning, TextPad. My good friend Brian in Galveston County. Brian and I were messaging each other during the game. It's like Brian was like, he's like, man, these are horrible umpires, bad calls. But hey, to me, Brian, that's the way baseball is. It's like they're gonna make bad calls. There's gonna be things that happen in the game, but then you just gotta win it. It's like sometimes luck has to play in it, but man, I don't care, man. Just win, baby, win. It's like Al Davis said from the Raiders, just win, baby, just win. Good morning, Kyle. Thank you. Good morning, Kyle. Thank you for joining the live stream this morning. JP, good morning, Gino and everyone. Hey, JP, good morning, JP. Looks like we might hit good weather here today, JP. Hope you're having a nice weather in Washington State. Kershaw is a beast. Oh yes, man, I know Kershaw's going to be in the Hall of Fame. I know Kershaw's but you can tell, man, this is he's retiring after this season. He already announced his retirement. He already had last start at Dodger Stadium. It's like I just wanted him to go out. That's why I'm really pulling for us to win the World Series. That way Kershaw can go out back-to-back champion. Howdy to all the. Hey, Daniel, my good friend in Jacksonville, Florida. I started the live stream early, Daniel, again, because of the Dodger game. I want to be ready for the Dodger game when it comes on at 8. JP, I like going places during low season because it's less crowded, low prices, and I know, me too. I mean, that's the when I can afford it. You know, that place that we stayed, JP, is normally like 10,000 pesos a night. So for the 2 nights that we stayed, it would be like 20,000. That's like rent for many places, fancy places, man. So to me, I know, that was just a special trip for us. And like you said, man, there was nobody there. It's like the staff was really attentive to us. They're like, break out the s'mores. We had the s'mores. Anytime you pick up the phone, there's a phone in the room, and you ask, they're right there. They're right there. Like, really impressed with the service. Even when we did the kayak, we needed we used both kayaks. We scheduled it for like 10 a.m. to go kayaking. Man, there had people there helping us. You'll see it. I filmed it and everything. They're like lifting the kayak, putting the water, pushing us off. I mean, just great people, great service. Whoever set up that resort, they trained their people well as far as taking care of the guests. The food was amazing. Our free breakfast every day. First day was spam. Next day was longanisa, like Filipino sausage. They had coffee, they had juices, they got watermelon. Just an excellent stay. I guess that's how the rich folks do it. That's how normally we stay like at the budget accommodation. So now I feel like I know how the rich folks do it. They get pampered. The rich folks get pampered. Someday I'll get pampered too. Hey, all right, music. All right, One World Music. Hey, thank you for joining the live stream. Brian, I'll catch you when the game starts. Have a great day. All right, Brian, thank you, Brian, for stopping by. Thank you for stopping by. I'll start texting you during the game again, like we did yesterday, man. This is your life. Make every second legendary. Amen. I agree with that totally. I always say, man, it's like life is short. YOLO. You only live once. It's like if you, like, always tell people, if you can retire. Retire as early as you can, as financially able you are to retire. I always tell people, don't wait to retire. Don't wait for 62, 67, to get that full Social Security, to get more money at 67. I don't believe in that, man. It's like retire as soon as you can, because you want to enjoy it while you can. Things can turn on a dime. It's like one day you're thinking you're preparing for retirement. You're like counting the money that you're gonna have in retirement. The day you retire, you see it happen to a lot of people. 1-2 years after they're retired, they're dead. It's like because or even if you live a lot, an illness can come to you. It's like when we get up in age, I'll be 60 next year. When we get up in age, you can't count on good health that will last you forever. No matter how you take care of yourself, man, I was fit. I was a runner. I was fit. I mountain bike. I swam in the ocean, but, cancer hit me at 56. It's like stuff like that can happen. So to me, I always tell people, if you can afford to retire, if you got money saved up, you can live on a fixed income, pension, or Social Security, do it. Do it. You will not regret it. The minute you retire, you experience a retired life, you are not going to regret a day of it. I know people say, well, I'll get bored. I got nothing to do. Man, I'd rather be bored and have nothing to do than like be in an office, in a cubicle, doing that 9 to 5. It's like I would trade that 9 to 5, time to enjoy life. You can't work all your life, right? It's like, a lot of us, we work. I worked since I was 17. It's like, why would I want to work till I'm 62? And then at 62 retire. How many years do I got left if I waited to retire at 62? The average male only lasts to like 76. So you only got 62, 76. You got 14 years. And it might not even be the best years of your life, those 14 years, because if you got an illness, if you got a bad back, you got bad knees, you can't travel, you can't do physical activities anymore. So that's why I always say, man, retire as soon as you can. You're not gonna regret it. You're not gonna regret it. Good day, JP. Good day, Daniel from Fortune. Hello, Fortune and Daniel from JP. Daniel, lower prices and lower crowds make Sergeant Frugal jump up and down. All right, jump up and down. Oh, Daniel, I was gonna share this with you. I got messages from Fortune about this too yesterday. And I don't want to make a big deal of it because I know, for us that make dollars, for us, I have neighbors here, their husbands work overseas, send money here in the Philippines. It's good for us that the exchange rate is great, but I know that could put like hardship on some Filipinos here. So to me, I don't celebrate it, but I wanted to point it out, Daniel. The peso dollar exchange, it hit an all-time high yesterday. It's now that it hit like 59.13. That is the highest dollar to peso exchange rate. Like I said, it's like I'm not like celebrating that, because I know, there's people that, it might not affect them well, like for me. But if you're concerned, Daniel, you're Sergeant Frugal, man, your dollar just it goes a long way here. You are gonna get the most out of your dollars when you bring it here to the Philippines. That's why, I tell people, if you come here to the Philippines now, I mean, this is probably like the best time to come to the Philippines because the exchange rate is so good. My friends, Joel and Eileen, they live in Arizona. He's messaging me yesterday. He's trying to exchange dollars to pesos because they come here every January. They spend like 3 months here, 4 months here. So he's wanting to exchange his dollars now because we don't know how long this exchange rate is going to be this high. Fortune probably knows more because Fortune is in banking. And Fortune had mentioned to me before how the Philippine government tries to regulate it. They don't want it to like get too high, like the exchange rate. Fortune said he doesn't think he'll go above 60. So like me, it's like right now, whatever dollars I have right now, I'm exchanging it to pesos right now because chances are when December hits here, when the OFWs, when they arrive here, overseas Filipino workers, balikbayans, when they vacation here in December, they're gonna bring in a lot of dollars. They exchange their money here. So a lot of times I notice December, the dollars will dip in December. So right now it's like the perfect time to like exchange. You're at the peak, right? They always tell you that with stocks, right? It's like buy low, sell high. When it's high, sell, sell when it's high. So that's what I'm doing. Whatever dollars that I have on our dollar accounts, I'm gonna exchange it to pesos and switch my money to pesos because it's an all-time high in the Philippines. Like I said, I'm not celebrating the high exchange rate. I know it might not be good for the locals here that the peso is not doing well. But I do know, like a lot of my neighbors, I would say 50% of my neighbors here in our community, the wife or the husband works overseas. They're workers that work in hotels, in ships, in cruise ships, you name it. They're working overseas, so they're sending dollars here, and that's always been big in the Philippines anyway. That dollar remittance, sending money here to the Philippines. Our economy here in the Philippines cannot survive without the dollar remittance from relatives that are abroad, overseas, sending money here to the Philippines. Ray Esguerra, what game? The Dodger game, man. The World Series, brother. The World Series, Ray. I mean, we only get one World Series of baseball every year, man. It's like today is game 4. Shohei Ohtani is going to be pitching today. Welcome back, Numancia. All right, Kim. Welcome back to Numancia. Happy to be home. Happy to be home. It was a good break, good vacation. We enjoyed it, but always nice to be home. Sleep in my own bed. Sleep in my own bed. It's always nice. Kim Mandal. All right. GP, my whole family went to Orlando after 9/11. No one was traveling because they were afraid. We all took separate flights. Oh, I can imagine, right? I can imagine. During that time, JP, I was in Japan. I was still active duty. Right after 9/11, for the year, the whole year, after the September 2001 to September 2002, our base was on alert. All kinds of stuff was happening during that time. I'm sure that wasn't in the news. I was working for that year. I was working at the command post. It was just crazy time. I was like working 12-hour shifts. I was working 6 days a week. I had like Sunday was my only day off. That was I remember it because we were working so many hours. Everything was on high alert. We were deploying people left and right to different places of the world. Medical, I was in charge in Misawa Air Base, Japan. I would work in medical readiness. So all our medical assets, equipment, supplies, and people, we were being tasked to deploy them, like our anesthesiologists, our surgeon, our flight surgeons, our doctors, our dentists. When you go to war, when you go to war, there's a lot of support people that come with war. It's like we're basically moving hospitals to like the Middle East. We're putting like MASH units that you see, MASH units. We're putting that out in the middle of nowhere in the desert. So a lot of people, a lot of equipment goes with that. Where are you at, Ray? I saw you on YouTube. All right. Welcome to the live stream, Ray. I am in Numancia, Aklan, in Western Visayas in the Philippines. That's my location. I've been retired here now for 14 years in Aklan province. Love the province life here in the Philippines. Highly recommend it for people. If you're looking for a more peaceful life, quiet, humble people, good people, these people in Aklan province, most of them are farmers, most of them are fishermen. They're not into like all that materialistic world, all that city life. Here, people are simple. People ride their carabao here. It's like they take their boats, their little bangka boats. They take it out fishing, and they're just happier people. They live the simple life here in Aklan province. Hello, JP Ford. All right, from Daniel. How did you get cancer? Nobody knows, man. I've gone through multiple tests, CAT scan, everything. The only thing because I've been healthy all my life, no cancer history in my family. I really think I got cancer from the COVID vaccine. I know I don't have any proof, but I was healthy and doing good before that COVID vaccine, and then that COVID vaccine just like screwed my body up, and then cancer popped in. But I can't prove that. I'll be a millionaire if I can prove that the vaccine gave me cancer. But it is what it is. I survived. That's the main thing. 12 chemo treatments, 33 radiation treatments, and I'm still standing. Still standing, man. I'm just grateful that I'm still standing. I'm getting my health back. I'm not 100%. I don't think I'll ever be 100% after those treatments that my body, it's basically I poisoned my entire body with the chemo and radiation. So I don't think I'll ever be 100%, but I'm happy to be alive. Grateful to be alive. I want to live where it only costs half a gallon of gas to drive to a warm sandy beach with we got that here for you, JP. You're gonna experience that here, JP. It's that's what Aklan province is all about. That's why I keep telling people that haven't been here. This is a gem. This is a gem here in the Philippines. Aklan province, half of Aklan province is coastal. It almost reminds me of like in California how you have the Pacific Coast Highway. Man, from New Washington, Aklan, Calibo, Numancia, Makato, Tangalan, Ibahay, Nabas, Malay, Boronga, all those are like coastal towns. It's like long stretches of beach, you know, and then people fishing. You got bangka, small bangka boats to big bangka boats, you know. This is just like one of the seafood places of the Philippines, you know. We're not the seafood capital. That's Rojas City. They call the seafood capital because they do have a lot of seafood in Rojas City. But we do have a lot of seafood here too, JP. I mean, you'll see it once you get here, man. In the morning, in the evening time, all on our national highway, on like they have all these stands, like hundreds of stands all over our province when you're driving on the national highway, and people are just like, you got fish there, you got tuna in there, you got like mackerel, you name it, mussels, oysters. If you're a good cook, man, you can just pick seafood and make your own seafood. You know, we live on seafood here in Aklan province. Seafood is cheaper than beef. You know, seafood is cheaper than beef here. You know, so to me, why would I even bother with beef, right? I'd rather eat the seafood because it's cheaper. Wish there was ways I could buy pesos now. Wish, yeah, you know, that's you know, you'll just have to, you know, you'll find, you know, if you come here, Daniel, you're gonna get opportunities like that anyway. Once you get here, you know, I'll guide you, man. You know, I know when to exchange and when you exchange dollars to pesos here. Like right now, I think it's just like the best time. You know, you cannot find a better time to exchange your dollars into pesos right now because it's an all-time high. You know, that's kind of like, you know, the stock market hitting the all-time high. That's when you want to get rid of your stocks, when it's at an all-time high. Fly boys, but will you get 59 pesos? Have to look around the exchange store. Oh yeah, I know I can. You know, it's like I know where to get them because here the banks won't give you that. Usually, if it's 59, the banks might give you 58.50. But the exchange places here, in the local exchange place, a lot of times the pawn shops, you know, a lot of times the pawn shops, jewelry stores, you know, they like to exchange. You know, they will give you right at the exchange rate. Sometimes you even get higher than the exchange rate. You know, I don't know how they work that. You know, I wouldn't exchange it at nighttime or anything. Usually those places are open during the daytime just to be safe. Here in Aklan, we don't have to worry about that. The Kalibo dollar exchange places, they're safe here because we're a small town. We're not like a city. I would be worried about carrying a lot of cash if you live in a city here in the Philippines. Just for safety reasons. I would not be flashing dollars. I would not be, you know, exchanges large amount of dollars in those exchange stores. Do it at the mall. Or the bank. The banks is the safest because they got security guards there. There are companies in the US that will let you buy pesos. I was thinking about getting a small stack of pesos before I go. Okay, I mean, that's not a bad idea, JP. You know, it's like the airports here in the Philippines, when you land at the airports, they will exchange your dollars into pesos, but they have one of the lowest exchange rates, unfortunately. It's kind of like when you airports here, any tourist destination like Boracay, Palawan, or Panglao, Bohol, Lona Beach, anytime you go to a tourist destination or the airport, NAIA, the Manila Airport, Cebu Airport, they're gonna give you like the worst exchange rate. You know, if the exchange rate is 59, they'll give you 57. You know, I guess they got to make their money. You know, they got to make their money. Mike of That Philippine Life just featured a retired. Oh, I saw the thing, man, on my feed. I haven't watched the video yet, Fortune, but I saw that it goes on my YouTube feed. So one of the things I always keep track of Mike the Philippine Life anyway. I always and James and Karen. I like, those are the two channels I focus my time watching their videos because I enjoy their videos. Retired for 30 years, I think in Roa City for 20, now with the Pinay wife and lady daughter. Good decision of his life. He will be 80. man, you can't beat that, right? It's like, when you've been living here in the Philippines, 20 years, retired. I've been living here in the Philippines for 14 years. I've been retired in the Philippines for 14 years. It's been a blessing every single day. I am grateful that I was able to retire early. I could not ask for a better life. I'm not rich. I don't have a lot of like luxurious items and all that. We have a nice little nest egg built. We bought land in Katiklan, this house. We do have some, but we're not rich by any. But to me, I'm rich in experiences of life and memories. And each day when I wake up, I just feel rich. I feel rich with like a joy in my heart. I feel blessed. I like helping people. It's like I always wake up with a positive energy. And to me, that's a blessing. Money can't buy that. I know people that are rich, got a lot of assets and all that, but in not a good spot. They let the money rule their life. I see people like that a lot of times where, I actually have relatives. I have relatives in the U.S. Once they became rich, they kind of like disregarded the rest of the relatives because we're too low for them. They're too good for us. But that's fine when you do that. But I think that's a sad life to live when you're like that. When you think you're above other people, I think that's a bad way to live. When you treat people with respect, treat people the same, you're gonna be much happier. People are gonna like you more. People do not like, pompous people. They can sell pomp. They don't like people that are like show-offs. Flashing their sports car, their large SUVs, jewelry. I don't get impressed by that. I don't even wear a watch. I don't even have a watch. It's like I don't have necklaces. I don't have gold. That won't impress me. When I see people like that, I'm like, nothing, that's them. Everybody's entitled to how they live their life. But material things doesn't impress me. What impresses me is people with a good heart, caring people, people that care for their fellow man, that are positive, give out positive energy. That's the people I admire. Hey, Ray. Speaking of people I admire, Ray in the Philippines, my good friend in Tagaytay. Check out his channel, Ray in the Philippines. I admire my good friend Ray because here's Ray. He's from Louisiana. He flew all the way here to the Philippines and he's starting his life here in the Philippines. To me, that's an adventurer. He wants to find a better life, a happy life, and he's doing it. That's why I love watching Ray on his live streams because I can tell he's just having fun. He's sipping on his red horse. It's like traveling the Philippines. I know I think the next Bacolod. I think he's headed to Bacolod. He's got family coming into Tagaytay. He's gonna show his family from the U.S. He's gonna take a tour of Tagaytay, make videos of Tagaytay. He is living his best life. That's the way I look at it. It's like you don't need to be rich. You don't need to have a lot of money to live your best life. Some of the people I even see sometimes they think, they're so focused on like accumulating and having money, and they base their happiness on money. But to me, that's not living life, man. Living life is like going out there, traveling, meeting new people, meeting new friends. Rave's a new friend of mine. I met him in Rojas City at Mike and Kat's house at Lara's birthday party. That's how Ray and I met. It's like, to me, that's living. That's living. Meeting good people, put good people in your life. Become a positive force. People, when they see you, they're happy to see you. It's like when I meet people, when I say, hey, I'll meet up with you, I can tell. When I met Ryan from Australia, he said, Gino, I've never met him before. I've never even heard about Ryan before, but he texted me, Gino, I'm in Roa City. I'm eating here at the Canadian Beaver. Can I check you out in Calibo? I said, go ahead, brother. brother, go ahead, come here to Calibo. He heads over here to Calibo, and the next 2 days we're hanging out in Calibo. I'm taking him to the Bacawan Eco Park. We're eating lunch together, and to me, that's what life is all about. The spontaneous, the fun things in life. To me, priceless to me. I did have a topic because I tried to have a topic, that way I have a topic to discuss. And let me just find it here. All right, here. This one, I really don't have to really say this, but, my topic today is treat locals with respect. That's the topic, because of the dollars. It came to my mind because, I saw some things online. I'm on a lot of expat groups. I'm on a lot of expat groups. And of course, I can't blame them, the expats. They're celebrating the all-time high. But I think you take it too far when you're like having like a celebration party because of the dollar exchange rate. I mean, it's okay to me, just me now, personally, right? But to me, it's okay to like, hey man, we're happy that the exchange rate is high. It's amazing, let me exchange my dollars and all that. But I think you're taking it too far if you're like having a party just because of the dollar exchange, a meetup or something in a bar and just celebrating it. Because a lot of times I see it here, not all, most of the expats I know, most of the foreigners I know here, they're good people. Like Ray, perfect example. He treats people with respect, treats everybody equal. But there are people here that, unfortunately, that come here with their dollars, right? Or foreigners that come here, that they look down on the locals. They look down on Filipinos. They feel like they're superior because I have dollars, I have money. And to me, I never bought into that, just because you have money, you have dollars bringing in here, they have the mentality that, oh, Filipinos need my dollars, so they're never gonna kick me out of here. It's like I can do whatever I want here. It's like Filipinos need my dollars. But when you really think about it, it's like the regular Filipino in the street, my neighbor or the local fisherman, do they really need your dollar? It's like maybe the country, maybe the politicians might make it sound like they need your dollars, but the local farmers that live here, the local fishermen, what's your dollars gonna do for them? It's like they're still gonna be farmers, they're still gonna be fishermen. That's how they make their living. These are good, honest people, so to me, that's just not a good attitude to have. It's better if you treat the locals like an equal. Don't feel, the people that come here and they think they're better than everybody else because they're driving a nice SUV, they're having the big bikes, they got their Harleys and all that. To me, it won't go well. It won't go well. But I guess you can isolate yourself and just be friends with expats, but you're missing out. You're missing out, when you're not becoming friends with the locals. My friend Ray can tell you that. It's like Ray's got friends now that are locals here. The locals here, man, when they become your friend, they'll watch out for you. They'll take care of you. They'll tell you things to avoid. They'll get you better deals on things. And to me, it can't hurt. It can't hurt. Just treat the locals with respect and you would not have any issues here. The people that get in trouble here are the people that don't respect the locals. That can get you in a lot of trouble here. Next thing you know, you're like in the barangay hall, a Filipino complaining about you in the barangay hall because they can do that. They can do that. You can act up any way you want here in the Philippines, but the minute you like upset a local, let's say on Facebook, or you like cuss them out, or worse, like Americans like to give the middle finger, right? The Americans like to give the middle finger. Do not do that here, please. Do not do that here, because if that person that you give the middle finger takes a picture of you, or there's another witness that saw that you gave them the middle finger, it's not gonna go well for you. It's not gonna go well because here in the Philippines, they can file charges against you at the barangay. All they need is a witness that if you're like in a bar, if you're in a restaurant, you got pissed off, next thing you know, you flip somebody off with like the middle finger, they got witnesses that you did it. You know, they can take you to the barangay, and that's whole lot of troubles gonna come your way. That's, you know, Filipinos get easily offended. I think I've mentioned it before. Filipinos are very sensitive. You do not want to hit the Filipinos' pride. You know, very prideful people, very sensitive people. I know in America that's a common thing. You know, so if you're driving, somebody cut you off, you give the middle finger, you hit the horn. You know, you can't do that here. You can't. You know, be careful with that. Be careful with that. And then a lot of times, you know, I see expat, you know, foreigners. I see foreigners here that everything they think is a scam, right? Everything's a scam, and that's not a good way to, you know. You got to be careful now. Don't get me wrong. There are a lot of scams in the Philippines. Taxis are horrible in Manila, especially in the big city. They're horrible as far as scams, but you know, don't get that mindset that everything is a scam. I know there's a lot of scams here, but you know, for me, I always, you know, I'm careful, especially with my money. You know, this is my pension, man. You know, that's a hard-earned money there. So I'm not easy to like release my money on anything. But you know, don't make comments like that. Don't say comments like, you know, everything is a scam here in the Philippines. You know, I'm getting skin tax everywhere here. You know, that won't go well. That, you know, to me, if you have that kind of attitude towards the Philippines, then maybe you should look at Thailand. You know, maybe you should look at Vietnam or Cambodia. You know, if you feel like the Philippines got horrible people, you know, why live here? There's other countries where you can move. Because, you know, Filipinos can sense that. You know, I can sense it. When I'm around foreigners here, I know the foreigners that are good people, you know, and then I can tell the ones that are not. You know, unfortunately, you know, sometimes, you know, not the best foreigners make it here to the Philippines. You know, some entitlement, you know, where they come from or whatever. But that's gonna show. You know, it's like, it's not hard to not see that. You know, there's always a foreigner here, like at the grocery store, waiting in a long line that's making a fuss. You know, it's like, what's taking so long? How come they only have one or two cashier? You know, there's always somebody that gets, you know, the voice usually. Like usually you can be standing waiting for stuff here, ATM or something, and you just start hearing a raised voice. And that's one thing Filipinos, rarely do you see that with Filipinos, is somebody raising their voice in a crowd. Because, you know, Filipinos don't like to get attention to themselves. But now foreigners, you know, usually everybody starts looking, you know, then they see it's a foreigner and they go, oh, okay, it's a foreigner. You know, it's a foreigner doing it. You know, it's like, the one thing I've known and most people experience here in the Philippines, Filipinos are like the most gracious host. You know, I don't think you'll be welcome in, not all countries welcome foreigners. Filipinos have always been so welcoming of foreigners. So to me, it's not hard to treat the locals with respect because they're so welcoming here, man. They invite people, the Filipinos will invite you to their home. You know, when you become friends with the Filipino, Fortune's a perfect example. Fortune's our friend here. When you meet with Fortune, I'm sure in Manila, if you need help in Manila, Fortune will go above and beyond the normal help. You know, he's like me. You know, when I meet people here, when somebody, I go above and beyond. I do what I can to help people. Good morning, Ray from Fortune. Ray, good morning, Fortune. What did you do in the military? Oh, all right. I was a medical administrative specialist in the United States Air Force for 20 years, active duty. My AFSC Air Force specialty code, I was a 906, that's medical administration. Then we switched over to 4A0, medical administration. So my whole career in the military, I worked in hospitals. Did many jobs in the hospitals. I worked pretty much all the clinics, emergency room, all the wards, medical surgical units, OB wards, supply. I worked in supply, medical readiness. That was like the last job I held in the military. So personnel, everything that makes the hospital run, that's where I worked. And then when I got out of the military, I worked another 7 years in Tucson, Arizona. I got a job as a risk management specialist with a Carondelet Health Network. So most of my life I worked in hospitals. Hey, good morning, James. There's my friends, James and Karen's Adventures, man. They're having great adventures on their motorbike. Check out their channel, man. Awesome places that James and Karen are visiting. I mean, these are places that you will not, like me, with my car. These are places that I cannot reach with my car. So for me, James is treating you to like real adventures. He's taking his mobile Starlink and taking you places, live streaming from places where no one has live streamed before. I know that, you know, it's like he's showing you some virgin territory in Aklan province. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you on the live stream, James. JP, hello JNK, hello JNK, Ray in the Philippines. I have to arrange a joyride for my friends from Texas. All right, Texas. From Pasay to Tagaytay. They don't have a Philippine SIM. They got the international SIM. All right. Yeah, we might need help from Fortune. Yeah? We might need help from Fortune here, Ray, on that. I'm sure they can ride a bus from Pasay. Pasay's got all the buses leaving Pasay, because I have taken buses before from Pasay all the way to Baguio, all the way to like Angeles City. So I'm sure a bus terminal from Pasay to a bus terminal in Tagaytay, and you can wait for them at a bus terminal in Tagaytay. But if you're looking for maybe a van, you know, a van with a driver, Fortune probably is a good source. I'm sure Fortune can hook you up with a van with a driver. That way you can really show them around. If you got a driver, a van, put your friends from Texas, man, you can go to Batangas, you can go to Laguna, you can go Cavite, man. You can tour that area in Tagaytay, man. Good day, J&K Fortune. Tell them to go to the, oh, right there, PITX. I know that's kind of like the big bus area, right? The PITX, where, man, you can catch buses there from all over. Like that usually during like the Philippine holidays here, that place is packed. But right now there's no Philippine holidays, so that's a start. Good morning, James and Karen from Ray. Too much luggage. Oh, they got too much luggage. So, like I said, maybe a rented van with a driver, Ray. That might be the option. I know here in our province of Aklan, I can get like a van, a big van, 14 passenger van here, and a driver. And here in Aklan, I can get it for maybe $80, maybe 4,000 pesos, $80 for that here. I'm sure it's gonna be a little more in Manila because that's the city. But they have those, man. They have those, you can rent a van with a driver. That way you don't have to drive the van. Good morning, Daniel. Good morning, Daniel. Daniel says, Ray, J&K, Fortune. Guess Joyride or Grab it is. Yeah, that too. That's another option. That's another option. Yes, going to book a 6-seater for them. I think it's about not too bad. No, 1,600. That's not too bad. About 30, but you know, $30. That's not bad, Ray. The driver, the hotel suggested wanted to charge 4K. That's about normal. That's about normal, Ray. Like for here in Aklan, you know, it's like I have gotten those van for people. Like when they arrive in Katiklan and there's a big group, a lot of suitcase, about 4,000 with the driver, and they can go anywhere here in Aklan province. So that's about a normal charge. I got 58.49. Yes. Oh, James, I mean, that's a good exchange rate, man. I'll take that exchange, man. 58 0.49. That's a 59 point this morning. Yeah, like the gentleman earlier was saying, it's hard to get like at the top, at the top. But 58.49, that's not a bad exchange rate. But I know there's one, James, in Calibo, near the old Gaisano Mall. There's like a money exchange there. We're in front of like the old public market. That's the place where I've gotten the highest exchange rate in Calibo. But it's only a difference of like 50 Filipino cents, but sometimes it's a good feeling to get like the best exchange rate. But to me, it's not a big deal. I'll be happy with 58.49, man. That's awesome. And James, when I first got to the Philippines, James, in 2011, it was 39. So anything in the 50s to me is like incredible. Sergeant USA, I am bringing my favorite pan wok with me in the luggage to cook my own. All right, man. Hey, man, go for it, Daniel. It's like nothing wrong with that. You got, you're used to that wok. Flipping that food and everything. And probably the quality of the pan that you're bringing, I'm sure, is going to be a lot better than the pans that you'll get here. A lot of the pans that you'll get here are from China, unfortunately, it's like they don't last very long. But they do have, you can order like the same pans that you have, or maybe SNR would carry it. You can order Amazon Prime when you get here. So if there's anything that you want to get from the US, you can still get it. It's not like you're limited. You're limited here to the products that they have here. You're gonna pay extra. You're gonna have to pay extra, man. But JP, Daniel, Google search foreign currency exchange USA. There are lots of companies that will sell you pesos. All right. Thank you, JP. Don't do the hotel. It's double. Do direct to van operators. There you go, Fortune. See, Fortune's our go-to guy here. He he's in Manila. He knows like ins and outs in Manila. Thank you, Fortune. Flyboys, safe to exchange $100 at local. Oh yeah, $100. You can exchange. I'm saying, worry if you're like exchanging thousands of dollars. $100. That's nothing here, man. That's not even what. That's not 5,800 pesos, man. People got that here. That's nothing. That's a low amount. I would be worried if I had like $2,000, $3,000 exchanging that. That'll be like a stack. There'll be a stack of 1,000 peso bills. So, that can fit in your pocket, so you gotta have like a sling bag or something to carry that. But for $100, I wouldn't worry about it. You can exchange that anywhere. Yes, like Chris. Yes. It has to be crisp. It's got to be like brand new $100 bills. It can't have any folds, let alone if it got a hole on it, if it got a stapler mark on it, man, they won't exchange it. I mean, they're really particular. You want like almost mint condition $100 bills. That's why when I go to the bank, I do the same check, on the dollars that they give me at the bank when I withdraw it. I have a dollar account with 2 banks here in Calibo. When I get my dollars, man, I'm like scrutinizing the $100 bill. I'm like putting it up in the air, making sure there's no folds, there's no stapler marks, there's nothing written on it, because sometimes people write on the money. It's like I don't get that, but it's got to be perfect. If I want to take that $100 bill to like a money exchange to get a higher rate. We are in Colossi. All right, James, you're in Colossi. All right, going. Oh, that's awesome, brother. If you can, man. Since you're in Colossi already in Antique, if you can, take a boat to Mararison Island. It's only a short 30-minute boat ride to Mararison Island. You can climb to the top of Mararison Island. Amazing view. I mean, depending on the weather, of course. It's like, I don't know what the weather's in Antique, but since you're already there, you're already in Colossi, man. But Mararison Island is worth the trip. They have one of the best sandbars that you'll see. A little tiny island. You can see it from Colossi. If you just stand on the seawall there, you can just look and you'll see we saw Mararison Island from our resort yesterday. You can actually, even if you want to stay overnight at Mararison Island, they have people that offer their homes, like a homestay, a bed and breakfast, not a hotel, no hotels at Mararison Island, but people living there, they'll have one bedroom for you and they'll cook you breakfast in the morning, you know. But I think you will like Mararison Island if you visit it. You can hike up to the top of Mararison Island. It's an amazing view at the top of it. J&K videos are looking more like, I know, man, right? James's videos are like awesome, man. They're like I said, James is taking you to places where nobody's been before. You know, he's like the Star Trek. He's like the Star Trek of a Panay Island or Aklan province, man. I'm just like, I'm thankful. I'm thankful for James because I get to see places that I haven't seen yet. And I live here. I live in Aklan province, and James is showing me places I've never seen yet. Good morning, JP. Yes, we are going to Zoom around Mount Majas today, hopefully. All right, that's another place, Mount Majas. They got like almost kind of like a theme park with like I can't wait. I can't wait for the video, James. Because I want to take Dazzle and Leanna to Mount Majas too. So I'm gonna watch your video for sure and I'm gonna learn from you, James. Thank you, man. I'm excited to see that. JP, can I buy a Philippine SIM cards when I get to? Yes. The minute you land at the airport, they sell the SIM card. They even have like I know they have like the eSIM now, you know, but I still prefer the ones that you put you get the SIM and then put it on the phone. But the minute you land at Mactan, they'll have that at the airport. There'll be a Globe person selling those at the airport in Mactan. John Vasquez. Hey, hello, John. Ruben, mayag nga gaon, Ruben. All right, Ruben. I know Ruben's having a great time, man. Ruben sent me a picture. He's in Angeles City, Philippines, man. Ruben is living the life, man. Ruben, he lives here in Calibo now. Ruben, he's got an apartment here in Calibo since January. So going on 11 months now, Ruben. But he went to Dumaguete cities for like a week, and now he's in Angeles City. Just enjoying life. Ruben is having so much fun in the Philippines. He just uses like Calibo as his home base here in the Philippines. Ruben's been traveling. He traveled to Dumaguete, to Angeles, to Iloilo, Davao City. You know, it's like you name it. Ruben is hitting all the spots here in the Philippines. Good to see you on the live stream, Ruben. Thank you, brother. My brother from Hawaii. Lowell, kumusta? Lowell? Glad you're great. Yes, it was an amazing, you know, I love taking breaks like that, you know, that changes it up, you know, it's like, really had fun at Antique Province. We'll be back for sure. We're going to hit Antique Province. You know, James and Karen, right now, they're in Antique Province right now, adventuring in Antique Province. Antique Province is like, if Aklan Province is like I said, a gem, Antique Province is like the same thing, but even more like undeveloped. You know, it's like Aklan Province, because of Boracay Island, we're getting faster development here, development in Calibo, whole province of Aklan. If you're looking for more like undiscovered, more undeveloped, that's Antique Province. I mean, like when I drive to Antique Province, like, you know, you could go for like miles, kilometers, and all you're seeing is like rice fields, farms. You know, it's like that's why when we went to that resort, I mean, you know, I didn't even think that, you know, resort existed. I was like, man, we're far out here. You know, it's like even the beach. You saw the beach, that the video I came out last night. We're the only ones on the beach. You know, there's nobody on the beach, man. It's like I said, if you're looking for places like that, untouched, you know, virgin territory, man, Panay Island's got so much of that. Antique Province, especially, they have a lot of that in Antique Province. God bless, Lowell. Get healthy, brother. you're always on my thoughts and prayers, brother. I hope everything goes well with your recovery. Jim, who needs a watch when you're retired? I know, right? It's like my watch is my phone. If I have to check the time, because the only reason I check the time a lot of times is because of Leanna. I have to take her to school, pick her up at school, take her to Kumon. Kumon is her like academic thing in Calibo. So that's the only reason like you said, I'm retired, man. I can't even keep track of the days a lot of times. Like this week, I'm gonna get screwed up with the days this week because Leanne is off from school. She does not have school this week, kind of like their semester break. So I'll lose track of the day. It's like, is it Tuesday today? Is it Wednesday today? It's like I lose track because to me, when you're retired, it's like the days of every day to me is like the weekend. It's like I do not have a Monday anymore. I've not had a Monday in many years where I had to get up and do things. Good morning, Colonel. Hey, Colonel. The Colonel right there. He's got a YouTube channel also, the Colonel Chronicles. Check out the Colonel's channel. Good morning, Gino and everyone. Good morning, Ray from James. Fortune. Good AM, Colonel. Lowell, Ruben. Where to, James? Where to, James? Colasi, man. He's in Colasi in Antique Province. He's right across Mararison Island and then Majas Mountain, the mountain of Majas. So he's going to have an adventure today, man. Can't wait for the videos, James. Can't wait for the videos. Good morning, Ray, Colonel, Fortune. Colasi Port. Yep, that's where he's at. He's at Colasi, man. The Colonel says, good morning, Fortune, JP, James, and Karen. We are in Colasi, Antique this morning to explore. Yeah, plenty to explore in Antique, man. That's awesome, James. Money doesn't make you a better person. Humility and respect makes you a better. Amen. Amen, Ray. Amen, brother. I agree, man. It's like, but you know what I'm talking about, right, Ray? Some people, when they accumulate money, they start thinking that they're better than everyone else. Like I said, I have a relative that's like that. I do not communicate with that relative anymore because I guess I'm too low. I don't reach their level. They've reached the above everybody level. So not a loss to me. It's like I do not want people, even though they're my relatives, I do not want people in my life that are like that. I want people that are humble, respectful, like you, man. I like people like you, Ray. We can be bros, we can be brothers. We might, we might not be the same race, but when we're together, we're brothers. Colonel, double pricing worse in Thailand. My experiences. Yeah, it happens here. Colonel. It's like I know that. Some Filipinos will try to gouge you, especially if you go to like a tourist destination. Like I know in Boracay, I lived there before, been to Boracay many times, and I see it. It's like the minute they see a foreigner, Koreans or Chinese, they up the double, triple, quadruple the price. Unfortunately, that's how they do business here. It's like it's in the culture, it's in the business culture here in the Philippines. So like upcharge people. I don't think that's ever gonna change. It's always been like that here. Fortune, Colasi Antique. That's great, James. Can you do Mararison Island? Yeah, that's what I was. But I think he's gonna do Mount Majas. I think he's gonna do Mount Majas. James said, and search rum brewery. Ooh, wow! I didn't know they have a rum brewery there, Fortune. That would be cool, man. A rum brewery. I've never been to one. I've never been to a rum brewery. Jim, I am grateful that Philippines would let me enjoy the wonderful country. I wouldn't be planning on coming to the PI if US was that great for retirement. I understand, Jim. Yeah, that's what a lot of people that I help, I've helped many people now. That's what I do. I enjoy helping people move here, retire to the Philippines. I don't charge any money, never have, never will. I do it because I I know people like on Social Security alone, I know it's not enough to retire in America. If you all you have is Social Security and you weren't able to accumulate wealth or build wealth, you're not going to have a fun retirement in the Philippines. But here in the Philippines, the average Social Security is about $1,700, $1,800. With that money, if you're single moving here to the Philippines, you can have a good life here with that, especially if you live in the province. My friend Ruben is a perfect example. He's on Social Security. That's his only retirement. He's got a place here in Calibo. He travels the Philippines. He's in Angeles City now, having fun. You know, it's like you can't do that in the U.S. Unfortunately, if all you have is Social Security in the U.S., you're not going to be doing traveling. You're not going to be doing fun adventures on Social Security income alone. You know, that's why I know when you move here with that limited budget retirement, you can still have a good retirement here. That's why I like helping people accomplish that. I enjoy it because the people that I help, they become my friends. You know, they become my people that are gonna be part of my life. You know, like Ruben's gonna be my part of my life. Edgar's gonna be part of my life. JP, when he arrives, is gonna be part of my life here. You know, so, many people now. Many people. Ivan from Canada. He's in Iloilo City. Gerard, my friend. There's just so many. There's so many that I like that I'm part of their life. That I had a small piece on getting them here to the Philippines and finding a better life for them here in the Philippines. I don't judge anyone that is trying to make as much money they can for their family. Yes, I respect the hustle and don't get offended by the try. It is your responsibility to manage your own money. Yes, right? You know, I mean, they're just trying to make a living, right? They're just trying to put money on, put food on the table for their family. You know, like you said, Ray, that doesn't hurt my feelings because I know, you know, but like for me, oh man, it's getting sunny here now, man. It's like the sun is like really shining now. You know, it's like it looks like it's gonna be a nice day here. But I understand that. That's why here in the Philippines, you know, I just know the prices here. I just understand like how everything works here. It doesn't offend me when somebody tries to upcharge me. You know, I just tell them politely, "Oh, I think that's too much." You know, I just tell them politely, and they understand that. You know, like I said before, everything in the Philippines is negotiable. It's not like they're trying to scam you right away. It's just like it's a negotiation. It's a bargaining. You know, you're bargaining. You're trying to get to a good price here. Good to see you, Colonel from Daniel. All right, the Colonel don't pedron bus. I think, Ray, their stuff can go under the bus. Yeah, that's the same with the bus. That's the same with the bus Ceres bus here. I don't know how the buses operate in Pasay or in Manila. Thanks, Sergeant Daniel, Sergeant USA from the Colonel. Baluz, hey, good morning, Baluz. My good friend in Leyte. Now he's in Leyte. I used to say my good friend in Wyoming. Now he's in Leyte. And his farm in Leyte. Very good morning to you. Loved your getaway stay. Very nice. We did too. We had a blast, man. We had a blast. When I moved, I did ship 12 boxes, comfort from kitchen to tools. When I exchange big money, we take our crew with us for business. Oh yeah, I mean, right? You know, you got bodyguards. You got bodyguards. If you're exchanging a lot of money, man, better be safe. Better be safe. You don't want to be walking around with a lot of cash in the Philippines. Hey, Olsen, OB Adventures, my good friend Olsen, Aliyah, and Isaiah. Hey, Isaiah from Columbia, South Carolina. Magandang umaga, kuya, and hello, everyone. Isaiah is sending, hey, man, love you, buddy, man. I can't wait to meet you, Isaiah. We're gonna have fun when I meet you in person. I know you like water activity, slides, and things like that. We'll do that here. Maybe I'll teach you how to skimboard. Yeah, I don't know if you've tried skimboarding yet, or even paddleboarding. Maybe I'll teach you how to paddleboard here. JP, from what J&K have shown of Antique province, it is more like Jurassic Park. I keep looking for rep. I know, right? That's what I said, man. You know, I said, JP, if you're looking for more like undeveloped, you know, it's like undeveloped, virgin territory where people haven't been there, you know, out of all the four provinces, out of Aklan, Antique, Capiz, and Iloilo. Antique is like more like, and then because Antique also, JP, it's known here in the Philippines as where the mountains meet the sea. You know, it's like most of Antique, you're gonna see coastal, you're gonna see the ocean, the beaches, but also right up against it, you'll see mountains. Even the resort where we were staying, we were surrounded by mountains. You know, it's like when that place where we're staying, when you're looking out, you're looking at the beach. But on the other side, when you look out, you're looking at tall mountains. That's what Antique province. Like I said, it's straight out of Jurassic Park, and it's like it's awesome. So green too, so green, like amazingly green in Antique province. Dangerous. I have 2 years before I retire. You make it seem so amazing. I can't wait. LOL. Hey, brother, you know, it's like, get that pension, man. Get that Social Security. I always tell people, you know, me, I'm getting my Social Security at 62. I'll be 60 next year. I'm getting it at 62. I'm going to enjoy that. You know, it's like, I'm not going to wait till 67, man. I might be dead at 67, man. You know, I want to live life now. You know, it's like, when you reach like close to 60, man, we're already in the fourth quarter of our life. You know, it's like time to enjoy. You know, it's like we've saved all our lives. We've been frugal all our lives. It's time to just enjoy it. Can't wait. LOL, Danger. That's funny. Can't wait. Colonel, I'm gonna explore actually, I can't blame you, Colonel. Here in Aklan, the only Starbucks we have here is in Boracay Island. I think they had one at Boracay Airport, but I can't go into Starbucks at Boracay Airport in Katilan. You have to have a ticket, you know, to use that, you know. So the only Starbucks I have here is in Boracay Island in Aklan Province. I know Rojas City's got Starbucks. Of course, Iloilo City's got Starbucks. But I do like it, you know, when I go to Boracay. I do, you know, I miss that, of course, you know, nothing compares, you know. When you haven't had Starbucks in a while, you know, it still hits different. It still hits, ooh, man, this tastes exactly how I remember it when I was in the US. And Dazzle, she loves the dark chocolate macadamia cookie. She gets that every time. And then she gets like the passion fruit juice drinks, or, you know, she always, you know, always gets those drinks. So we always hit Starbucks when we're in Boracay. It's a treat. It's a treat for us because they're not cheap, right? They're not cheap. Starbucks is not cheap here. Gino, let's go Dodgers. All right, man, I'm ready, man. I'm ready. Game time is in a few minutes here. I'm ready to catch the game. Danger, I found Gino's channel 13 months ago. Now I am 2 months away from being there. It goes really fast. Right, JP? I always tell people that, you know, it's like when people tell me I'm 2 years away, I'm 1 year away, especially if you're only 1 year away, that will go by fast because there's a lot of preparation that goes into moving here. You got to get all your financial, you got to make sure you can access your money in the US several ways. Do not just be able, you know, like a single bank account. Don't do that, because what happens if that bank decides to like close your account or do something with your account? Open 2 bank accounts, open money transfer accounts with like Remitly, Wise, Zoom, you know, bring checks here, bring blank checkbook checks here. Make sure you have several ways of getting your money. Don't limit yourself to like one way to get your money, because it can cause problems for you. It could cause when you get here and you can't access your money, you know, that would not be a good spot to be in. You want to be able to access your money in many ways. Belus, expats, be careful at ATMs. Yes. There's been I know a foreigner in Mindanao got mugged, and he had somebody with him because he was taking 50,000 pesos at an ATM at night. That's why I say, if you're gonna use the ATM here, do it during the daytime. Do it inside the mall. Get your money at where there's people around. It's like, don't be getting money here at nighttime. You're asking for, it's the same anywhere in the world. Same preventive measures. You gotta be alert. Especially if you're in the city. If you're in the city, there's just more crime here in the city. Even here in Calibo, it's like, I don't see many crime, but I'm always careful. I'm always alert. I was in the military. My last job in the military, I taught a class in force protection. So I know what to look for. I'm street smart. I grew up in Manila till I was 12. So I've always been street smart most of my life. It's like I protect my property. It's like my wallet never goes in my back pocket. It's always in my front pocket. I'm always have my hand on my wallet. I don't wear jewelry, things like that. Just this typical, you got to be safe. You got to protect yourself. You got to be aware of your surroundings. Look at people like me when I'm on the street. When we're in Calibo, I know it's safe in Calibo. I'm still watching people, man. There's shady characters anywhere you go. Anywhere in the world that you go, there's shady characters. I mean, you can go to Boracay Island, you still have to watch out for people, right? It's like there's no longer a safe place where you can't. You got to watch everybody. You got to make sure you're aware of your surroundings. Man, it is like bright and sunny now. Let me show you guys how bright and sunny it is here. It's going to be a beautiful, beautiful day here in Aklan province today. Man, look at that bright sun. They're still doing construction in one of my neighbor's houses here, but look at that, man. That sun is bright, man. It is already warming up here. We got all these motorcycles parked right there. There's like 3 motorbikes there, another 3 motorbikes there. These are the construction guys, construction people, because one of the houses 3 doors down from me, they are building like a garage, a deck, just addition to their house. But always quiet in the neighborhood besides the construction. Always quiet here, but just look at that bright sun, man. Just like, man, it's gonna be a hot day today. It's gonna be a hot day today for sure. Talking about skin tax. All right, Daniel. During the 90s in Italy, they charged my girlfriend $50 for 2 ice cream cones. Man, that's an expensive ice cream cone, man. And said she to pay it. She did. It was, oh man, that's horrible. OB Olsen, LOL. I am with you, JP. I found him less than a year ago, and we are 10. All right. See, everybody's counting down. JP, 2 months. Olsen, 10 months. It's like, that's gonna go by fast, Olsen. You will be here before you know it. In my experience, which is anecdotal, Filipinos are on average much more honest than Americans on average. Comparing Panay to Illinois or Missouri, for instance. Yeah, I mean, Panay Islands just got, for me, I've always said this, I'm from Manila, it's like I'm a city boy, growing up in the city boy in Manila, my elementary years. But I've always found people here in the Visayas region, they're just more humble and kinder people. In Luzon, a lot of times, not all, of course, not all, but a lot of the people in the cities in Manila, they look, there are a lot, especially the people that are well off, that have money, of course, not Fortune. Fortune's a good guy. But unfortunately, there's always a thing here in the Philippines where you can even see it in the shows, like in the TV shows here, where the people that come from Visayas, they're kind of, they look at them as like less, because a lot of times the people in Visayas that go to Manila, they end up becoming domestic helpers, maids, things like that for rich people in Manila. So That's why a lot of times, and then the people here in Visayas region, even here in Panay Island, they have an accent. It's kind of like in the U.S. how the southern people of the United States have that southern accent. Same thing. So people in New York, if you go with a southern accent, oh, you're from the South. It's kind of like the same thing here. It's like they know the minute a Philip. That's why here in the Philippines, you'll see Filipinas are so particular about pronunciating words, saying words, because if they pronounce a word with their Visayan accent, people would make fun of them a lot of times. Oh, you said it the wrong way. To me, that's like silly, because like as long as you can communicate in English, it doesn't matter if you don't speak it like the correct pronunciation and all that. OB, are you coming to Aklan? I will be closer to Clark, but will be staying in Aklan for a few weeks. Come visit us, guys, if we are home. I know, right? We will. James, we're both like on the go all the time, man. So, we will. It's like, I'll have to track you down. Like you're so active too, James. So when we know that you're at the house, I'll message you, James, and we'll visit you guys. I just don't want to pressure you guys, because I know you're like active, man. You're doing things, man. It's like, but I'll be happy, man. I'm always excited to see James. Me and him like got stories to tell to each other. If it's crazy high, I just say you seem to like want far more than me, so I'm going to let you keep it. All right, Daniel. Yeah, nothing wrong with like bargaining with people. It's part of the thing here in the Philippines. People, it goes both ways. It's like sometimes there's balikbayans that comes here from the US. When they're bargaining, sometimes they think everything's so cheap here. Like a vendor might be selling 100 peso item, and the balikbayan will say 20 pesos lang, like only 20 pesos. I'm like, of course, if you're the vendor, you're selling for 100, you're not making that much money for 100, but they want to only pay like 20 pesos. It goes both ways. The bargaining here goes both ways. My mom already has a brand new house in Bataan, and no one is living there, so we will be taking advantage of that for a few years until we build our own. Man, you're already in a good spot, Olsen, man. You got a house to live in, you got relatives. Man, you got it made. You just got to get here, man. I live a prepper here in Leyte, drive a multicab in Wyoming, 1986 Toyota. I was gone 4 months and family purchased no groceries. They have things like Spam left. Was shocked they save over 100. Wow, yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome, Belus. I want to go explore Bataan after I get settled. I am interested. Oh, right, man. Corregidor Island will be one of the places where you want to go, JP. That's in the Bataan area. You're gonna enjoy that. That's where they had the last stand during World War II, Corregidor Island, against the Japanese invasion. And a lot of the Corregidor Island people that fought Filipinos and Americans, they were the ones that participated in the Bataan Death March. I am thinking about a multicab as a one-year present to myself. All right. Multicabs are nice, man. They're not expensive. It's like, depending on the multicab, you're only looking at maybe $3,000, $4,000 for a multicab. JP, yeah, brother. Try to make it to Corregidor Island. There you go. Olsen. Olsen will be our guide. If we go to Corregidor Island, Olsen will be our guide. So much history there. Yep, they still have the cannons there. They still have like cannons that they had during World War II. It's still in the fort, the fort, the cannons, all that is still there in a museum. I'm sure they got a museum there set up now. It took a solid 1.5 years to get my banking issues worked out. And I'm still working on my direct deposit. All right. Take care of all that, Daniel, before you head here, man. Like I said, make sure you got several ways to access your money in the U.S. Uh, like me, my sister's in the U.S. Just kind of like my go-to, if anything. You know, right now I only really have one bank account there, but my sister is there. But, you know, make sure you have like ways, you know. You don't want to be in a situation where you got to fly back just because of you can't access your money. The Philippines is eye candy, paradise, amazing, but it can kill you just the same. Don't live loud, stupid, and arrogant. Thank you, Belus, for saying that. And you will be almost royalty to the people here. You're amazing. Yes, you know, that's what I'm saying. You know, don't be flashing money. To me, that's why, you know, you're better off just like, you know, dressing ordinary, you know, like board shorts, t-shirt, flip-flops. You know, you don't have to flash money here. You know, you're attracting attention to yourself when you're doing that. You know, to me, you know, but I do understand people like to drive nice cars, live in big houses, but you know, to me, just be careful. It's like anywhere else you would live in the U.S., Canada, or anywhere in the world. You know, you got to be alert of your surroundings. Always be protect yourself. JP, I even found a guy who did some videos on the Battle of Dumaguete where he drove his retro Jeep. Ooh, wow, man. I've never heard of the Battle of Dumaguete. I might have to research that now, JP. Like. Thank you, Daniel. Hello. How's the humidity? Oh, today's going to be humid. You know, after all that rain and now all the sunshine, it's going to be humid today. Probably 70 to 80% humidity for sure. It's going to be a warm day today. I have mobile banking and wire always. I think as of 20, come around 160, but down like 5 times. You have to do small amounts under 2K or be flagged. That's a lot, but lot of assets. Yeah. Same would be, I've been able to move around, you know, that's why I have 3 bank accounts here, Filipino bank accounts. I spread out the money, that way you're not attract the IRS, you know, you watch, you know, money transfers from the US here, you don't want to attract the IRS. Our family asset rich and money poor always has been passing all to family as we pass. Daniel. Just over 5 months till D-Day. You got D-Day. That's funny. God bless Gino. God bless Belus. God bless Belus and all your views. Salute to the vets and active. Meet you in the Philippines. God bless. God bless, my brother. God bless. Also, congrats, Daniel. Save me a seat. Keep Gino and Edgar busy. I keep Gino and Edgar busy. Good AM, Belus from OB. Gino, as a military retiree, what's the best way to manage banking? Direct deposit to U.S. bank? Yes, that's how it is. You can't direct deposit your military pension to a Philippine bank. The military doesn't allow that. That's why I have one bank account in the U.S. where my pension goes. But I empty that money quickly. You know, I don't look at, you know, I don't try to keep money in that bank. So if something happens, I'm not reliant on that bank anymore. I spread out my money here in the Philippines now. I can live for a year here in the Philippines without my pension anymore. So I'm not like, you know, if something happens, and nothing's happened. I've been collecting a military pension now for 22 years. I've been collecting a military pension, if you can believe that, for 22 years. I retired from active duty for 20 years active duty when I was 37. I'm now 59. For the last 22 years, I've been collecting a military pension and no issues. It goes to the same bank, and then I just write checks here within my checking account and move my money around here. Never had a problem. And then when my Social Security kicks in like less than 3 years now, when I turned 62, Social Security, I can direct deposit in a bank in the Philippines. Social Security doesn't have a problem with that. But the military, for some reason, our military pension is not allowed to go to a Philippine bank. Maybe for security reasons, whatever reasons, but I'm hoping someday they would, because if that happens, if I can move my military pension to a Philippine bank, I would no longer have any connections with the United States. I still have to file taxes. Don't get me wrong. Every year I have to file taxes. My military pension is taxable still in the U.S., but that would be my only connection, is filing an income tax every year. Oops, make that 4 months in a week or two. That's funny. Hey, they have a tour that starts in CCP in Manila Bay to Corregidor, including lunch, and then you can go inside the Malinta Tunnel. There are museums. Oh yeah, I figure, man, it's got to be like the war memorial at Pearl Harbor. I'm sure they got. I'm sure they got all that stuff. That's gonna be a fun trip for JP. I went in 2003. Fortune said, I have no money to flash. Ray, hey, you and me too, Ray. I ain't got no money to flash, man. On the way to Bataan, the kilometer markers are about the death mark. I've seen that. I've even seen the death, like when I visited Luzon. You see the death march route. They got markers to commemorate that. You can go to Mount Saman, cross Dambana, Kagitingan, except the vertical is an elevator and they have not fixed it yet. All right. I went in 2014 and was able to ride the elevator. The horizontal part of the cross is like, oh man, that'd be so awesome. That would be so awesome, man. You can also go to Las Casas de Azucar. The architect Jose bought old ancestral houses, dismantled it piece by piece, and reconstructed it. Man, that is cool. It's like a big Spanish town. Ooh, 30 houses. Wow, that's amazing. Hello, Fortune. The elevator has been out of service for a while. Yep, from Mount Saman. It has a hotel, church, restaurant, pool. Man, that sounds like a fun place to visit for sure. Man, JP, you're going to have fun visiting that area. The period movies, the recent Quezon movie was shot there. My military will be going to Navy Fed. Social Security pays, Medicare, TRICARE goes to Schwab, and USA. Oh, see, you're good. You're good, Daniel. Well, you got 3 banks. You got backup after backup. That's like, you are planning well, my brother. That's how you do it, man. That's how you do it. My grandpa was Death Mart Betch, almost died on the malaria. Ooh, Campo O'Donnell. I've been to Campo O'Donnell. It's like when I was stationed at Clark back in the late 80s, I made a trip to Campo O'Donnell. So I did see where that was. He was a captain in the USAFE. He was a good cook, and Japanese officer got him out of the stockade and made him his personal cook. Wow, learned Nihongo. After release, he went home to Panay and did guerrilla warfare in Panay. I heard about a lot of the guerrilla warfare. My friend Joel, his grandfather relatives back during that time, they were part of that Panay guerrilla forces here in Panay Island. Went back to FEU to finish law, retired provincial assessor of Antique. Good. Hey, all right, Lawrence. Hey, Lawrence. Good morning from Makati, Paranaque. All right, I'm getting to the end of my live stream here because it's almost Dodger baseball time. It's time for Dodger baseball, man. I cannot wait for Game 4. Hopefully, it's going to be an exciting game like yesterday was. To me, yesterday was like the best game ever. My lolo was a guerrilla as well on Negros Island. Man, that's all right. Fadulus. The Colonel, USAA has served me very well overseas, here in Thailand. All right. So Daniel is well prepared, but like USAA as one of his bank options. Go Dodgers! All right, go Dodgers! All right. Thank you, Lawrence. All right, I'm gonna end the live stream here. I'm gonna get on the Dodger game. Thank you, Tara, Dapasi. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you for joining the live stream this morning. I appreciate everybody's time as always. Everyone, take care and stay blessed. Stay blessed, everyone. Good day, Gino. Good day, Fortune.